party was 3 doors down or 3 doors up, whatever, from the place where Ian, what's his name? From Joy Division, Ian Curtis. I nearly said Ian Huntley then. That's fucking terrible. We drove down there in that shitty mustard-coloured van that I'd borrowed from my boss, Charlie. And remember when we were going around that corner and that prick nearly crashed into us? Remember when he did like a 360 in road and they had to slam on?
Well, that Escort, I remember when he was like getting it to over 100 and it was like about to break. It took about 10 minutes to get it to 100.
And then years down the line, I was like, I think I'd had a few beers, and I think at one of these hip operation nights, I was like, mate, just let me do that second verse, and you were like, yeah, go for it. And there was a big crowd there as well, and we were like so young compared to everyone else, and we got well received, and that was the first time I'd ever like rapped live to anyone. At Sankey Soaps, the original Sankeys, before it all became some sort of corporate.
Been a few times and ended up working there as well.
There were lots of slums and squatting around there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And derelict buildings and stuff, but it's completely
taxis
changed now.
Pick you up when he
wouldn't pick you up from there, would they?
When he was finishing work, so he'd have to leg it, and back then you get tips in coins as well, so you're like jangling, like fucking Bojangles running down the road.
Advertising your pockets taken to the local crackheads.
yeah. That guy's got some money.
Oh, obviously, I'd regularly come over to Salford and we'd have these like absolutely wicked parties in your Castle Irwell building.
Yeah, it had a bit of a reputation, so I think you were only going to go there for 2 reasons. One of which was like you kind of knew about it, and you knew that it went. There was massive parties that would happen there, which was me. I was in that group, or the other group was like you were a foreign student,
and you're getting your head down, and yeah, that's true actually.
Cause it's shit. Set for Charlie Dimmock 6, which are getting low, rich are getting poor, poor are getting poorer, more are getting border. The way that Labour favour many sitting tactics. Banned everything set for plastics and fags, cause the tax gets the jacks for the MPs. Malicious politics. So yeah, there was definitely an American influence as far as it goes in the early days of making the music. But can you remember the point where that changed? I seem to remember we had this article, and it was in the Bolton News. Now, I don't know how or why I thought it was appropriate to contact the Bolton News about these hip-hop tunes we've been making, but I did, and they for some reason printed this article, didn't they, about us? You found it quite recently, didn't you? And so it's still lurking around the internet somewhere. We got this article printed in the Bolton News, and the next thing I know, some guy was contacting me called Leroy. Now, do you remember Leroy? He came round one night. He was a local guy, older than us, and he was interested in hip-hop. Now, weirdly enough, in an earlier episode of this podcast, talks about when I was at a skate park called Bones. I broke my arm, and Leroy was the guy who rang the ambulance for me. So I kind of knew who he was. I'm sure he'd forgotten all about the arm breaking incident, but...
Well, I remember, Bones.
I'm sure it happened all the time there. He came to where we made music upstairs in my bedroom, and he brought with him a stack of records and a load of CDs and stuff like that. And I don't know about you, but that was the first time I really heard proper UK hip hop.
Yeah, I'd only really heard stuff that had made it onto the mainstream. So probably not a lot of more underground stuff at that time, though.
I wasn't aware there was such a prominent UK hip hop scene. Well, I wouldn't use the word prominent, but an underground. It existed. Yeah. Let's just take the word prominent out there completely. But it existed.
And it was good stuff as well.
So he gave me, or he lent me a record. It was on the Zebra Traffic label. I've got it right here. Zebra Traffic, and it's Dirty Diggers for the Haters.
True.
And that I'd say captivated me instantly. You had, what was he called, Pat Stash, I think it was either one of the vocalists. But the part that really got to me was the other vocalist was called Max.
Oh yeah.
My name's Max. Found me by the cheap crates. This is for the haters. He thought I had weak breaks,
Yeah.
And
really good sort of Souls of Mischief style beat.
It was a really good beat, and it was really up tempo, very breaky.
Happy.
But hearing Max on there, hearing Max, it was a northerner. So UK hip hop was fully legitimised to me, and at that point I was thinking, wait a minute, he's up from up north, I'm from up north. This is not stupid. People are actually doing this. That made me think that maybe we could do something here.
My name's Max. Find me by the cheap crates. This is for the haters who thought I had weak breaks.
escapes with wax plastic keepsakes. I beat fakes with a briefcase of beat takes. Rhyme for the sake of my soft-hearted street mates. I seek space to survive on the weak rates. Paid to dirt workers lurking in police states.
So another thing that you showed us, you mentioned it before briefly, the UK Hip Hop Forum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? And also, what else was going on at that time on the internet? You had MySpace. Remember MySpace?
Forgot. I did, yeah.
MySpace.com/SimpleSamples. I think it's still there. Let's have a look now. Let's have a see.
We have the page.
Oh my word, it's still there. Doesn't seem to have loaded properly, but yeah, I can see some of the tracks are still there. So yeah, MySpace. Tell me about MySpace.
So, you know, it was like a social media kind of platform for bands. And
this is pre-Facebook.
Pre-Facebook. This is not just bands as well, by the way. Anyone is on there. And I think one of the most brutal functions on it was the top friends, wasn't it? Because, you know, you had to choose maybe 6 top friends. And then
display them.
And then obviously it was awkward for anyone that wasn't in the
top
6.
Friend.
In the 6, yeah. So I remember that was probably the only bad part of it. The rest of it was much better than social media as it is today. It was, you know, these are my songs that I'm into.
Yeah,
there was a tiny bit about me.
There was no mindless scrolling through anyone's stuff, was there really?
No.
If you wanted to see what someone was up to, you'd physically have to go to their MySpace page, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
There was no like feed, like traffic.
No, and I think Arctic Monkeys are probably the band, aren't they, that were the most famous.
Yeah.
They made it through
Bandcamp. MySpace.
Yeah. Bandcamp is like the new MySpace.
Yeah, Bandcamp is like the new MySpace, really, isn't it? It's a good platform, actually.
Bandcamp's the best, probably, isn't it?
It is.
For the actual artist.
I'd say so, yeah. It's done really well over the years. So you had the UK Hip Hop Forum as well. That was run by a guy, if I remember, called OJB. I don't know his real name. But he's
cousins to ODB.
Yeah, maybe ODB's cousin. I can't confirm or deny that. But yeah, it was a forum, and how to explain a forum now to like in 2025? It's like a message board where you can register as a member. People start threads up, and then you
it's like a Reddit sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a bit like Reddit, isn't it? But sort of more organised, and it's all into sections, and they all sort of look the same, don't they, forums?
The UI on them is pretty awful. Like, it's just like scrolling through loads of text, basically. I mean, it's just like it's just comments, isn't it?
It's just comments.
Like comments on a post.
People commenting, people promoting the music on this one. There were a lot of like-minded people on there.
That's true. It was a good place to showcase stuff as well.
Definitely.
And hear stuff.
That gave me like a place to start something that I would later start called Organics, because I used to run it sort of from there, and that was sort of like an online collaborative monthly music thing that I used to do through the forum. That was good, but really it also gave us a chance to sort of put the SimpleSamples stuff on there, didn't it, and push it out. So yeah, sort of like the early days of promoting yourself on the internet, also putting stuff out on YouTube. A lot of freestyle videos. Do you remember the freestyle videos we used to record?
Yeah, I'm a castaway creation, the bastard that's the patient at the loony bin. I'm the lad that knew you did the foolish thing. That ruler brings the measurement to size, lads. But I'm the right mad guy with the mic and the white pad like that. It fucks you up a bit. Bring the ruckus when I suck a split. Fucks it up. Right, yes, now. With the mic and the white pad, right at the bottom me, the white coats are watching me.
There's a treasure trove in your bedroom. Remember? It was like a bit of a stoner's paradise at times.
Yeah, a massive windowsill as well. Great place for having a cheeky spliff.
Good place to play a lot of games.
Yeah, we played a lot of games.
Watch a lot of films.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we used to play a lot of games.
Procrastinated quite a lot.
Yeah, we did. There were times where you come over to record and we just end up playing games.
Well,
all the times.
It was always good fun, and we got a lot of stuff done from there as well.
Yeah,
I think, you know, credit to your mum and dad for letting you just basically chill there,
putting up with it. Yeah,
and letting us, you know, blaze.
So I just I want to sort of have a bit of a run through some of our tracks now. Our first release, if you will, it was definitely sharpened up by people like Leroy coming over and showing us some of the UK stuff.
Yeah.
He was doing a course in Manchester Uni as well somewhere, in School of Sound Recording, and he showed me sort of the basics of how to improve how the vocals sounded, use compression and EQ and stuff like that. So yeah, he made it actually sound listenable, I think. So as well as Leroy, what about Lazy? Do you remember Lazy?
Lazy?
Do you remember him?
No.
So he was like part of this crew called Seldom Seen.
Oh yeah.
And it was Leroy and it was Lazy.
I do remember now.
Now Lazy was like an established battle rapper, and I think he's like won some sort of like tournaments and stuff. He's from around here, but he was a feature on our first CD as well. That's
right. Yeah. Seldom Seen was there any other features on that the first one, or was it just them?
There was the Louis MC.
Was that on the? Of course, that was on the first one. Yeah, it was
on the first one. We did a track at the end called Free Spit, and I think the idea of it was just like you could write whatever 16 bars you wanted about whatever, and it's basically just throw it all together sort of track, and it had like a very repetitive beat, which is just. Can you imagine being in a room like where that's being played next door and you're trying to go to sleep? Like,
well, it probably happens many times.
It's over and over and over again.
It got played a lot. That probably the most out of every song.
I'd say it did, yeah. And then you were on it, and we had Leroy was on it, Lazy was on it, and then we also had a guy that we met from this forum, and he was called Daddy Ash. And he was like some sort of Cockney rapper, like totally different sound to all of us. And it was I don't know how he ended up on there, but yeah, he did.
Yo, the nickname, code name is Ash Street Pastor. I spit flames, propane gas, fire starter. Flows hot like lava, take my time with it. Like when I'm drinking lager, mixed with wine and spirit.
I thought it was great times. Everyone. It was just like you say. There's so much fun in that first album, isn't it? It's just literally from the first skit to the Free Spit song. It's all just kind of having fun, you know. There's no pressure on any of it. I don't think it's just like we're just trying to enjoy ourselves and I think that comes across in it, and I don't think it's like really. It wasn't going to break any records.
But I seem to remember we got some like online reviews from that. I think BritishHipHop.co.uk did an article, a review on they somehow got hold of it. It's probably through again this forum. Which I think led to us getting some gigs in the Manchester area.
Oh yeah, I remember the main gig that I remember was in Morecambe.
In Morecambe?
There was a load of gigs that we did, but there was one, maybe that was a bit later on, but...
Was it the one in Macclesfield?
In Macclesfield, not Morecambe.
Macclesfield, yeah.
Of course, Macclesfield.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. That was later on, wasn't it?
That was later, yeah. But the ones that we did earlier were in Manchester, yeah. So there was like Hip Operation.
Good name for an event.
Which is a great name for an event, and that was... Who was the main guy? He's a really good rapper. He was in a group, wasn't he then? But
Professor P.
Professor P.
Pro P.
Pro P.
And he was like a DJ, and I think he used to run it with a few other people, but there was... Remember Surreal Knowledge?
Keep the stilo and the flow. By the OG, you're all more yellow than brick road. So introducing those for sick flows, knowing chicks go like Bisto, cause life's gravy when your lady licks my piss hole. If you tiptoed in my plimso, still implode, book 'em out, you were walking inch with it.
I think they were from like, was it Blackpool?
Because the guys wearing from Blackpool.
Jay Madden.
That's Jay Madden. Jay Madden, yeah.
And I think these were all, again, there were a lot of battle MCs around at this time, because
everyone was kind of...
Hip hop and battle like rapping was huge at that point, wasn't it? Was Don't Flop going on at this time?
Either later, maybe a little bit later. I don't know, but maybe around this time.
Around this time, I'd say. It started up. It was getting big.
It was
probably on the back of like 8 Mile. Would you say?
Probably that. Yeah. Probably.
I mean, a lot of people were pushing me to get into the battling, and I just knew that I just didn't have the right I just didn't have the right temperament to do that. I just knew
it wasn't for me.
It's one of them things that I'm so glad that I didn't buckle and get into, because my guts were saying, don't get involved in this. Don't get involved in this. And,
it was one of the. I watched them though. I used to watch them.
They were very entertaining to watch. Yeah, not so much now. They haven't aged well.
They don't age well.
No. A lot of the insults now, you're thinking. Right,
it's just I don't know.
And it's not really about music.
At the time, though, it was it was interesting to watch. It wasn't really a music thing, though. It was like.
So at these nights, Hip Operation, there was a lot of like battle MCs who also had like rap crews, and they'd do performances. There was one at what was it called? It was called.
That one.
Trough.
Remember that one? That was
the roof on fire. The roof's on fire. Trough in Fallowfield, I think.
In Fallowfield, and that was with the Cinematic Orchestra.
The Cinematic Orchestra guys were there, weren't they? For
the drummer and the keyboardist.
And I ended up playing some drums towards the jam part of the evening later on, and you were rapping, weren't you?
Yeah.
That was good. That was an early one. I forgot all about that.
That was fun.
There was the one at Hip Operation. We had two there. I think the one at the Beer Keller.
The Beer Keller one is the one I
and
remember.
Louis MC came with us for that one. And we did the free spit track live, which was so cool. And then there was another one as well where we did. I think it was Hip Operation, but it was in the club that's upstairs from the Thirsty Scholar on Oxford Road. I think it was called something like Sound Control or Sound Forge.
Sound Control.
Sound Forge. That's a program, isn't it? But
Thirsty Scholar, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was above there. So that's the first time I actually remember sort of rapping, which kind of leads me nice and neatly to my next sort of point. So I don't know if you remember, but a lot of the rhymes in the first release that we did, a lot of them were like rhymes that I wrote, and I sort of like forced you at gunpoint, like to
I remember.
Maybe not at gunpoint, but I was like, mate, it'd make my day if you could, and I was like, I were writing these lyrics. They weren't as intricate as yours. They didn't have as good lyrical content, but one thing they did have was a lot of rhythm to it, and that's probably because of the drumming. And that was definitely hammered into me, and I think it definitely impacted my style. So I was secretly listening to a lot of the CDs that I'd got from you, which had a lot of instrumentals on, and there was like a Kanye West instrumental called Good to You.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know it was Kanye West at the time, but I'd had that on loop, and I'd written like a few verses to it one night, and then I started like just rapping it and started getting a bit of confidence with it. And then years down the line, I was like, I think I'd had a few beers, and I think at one of these Hip Operation nights, I was like, mate, just let me do that second verse, and you were like, yeah, go for it, So then we were both up together.
Oh, much better. Yeah.
And there was a big crowd there as well, and we were like so young compared to everyone else, and we got well received, and that was the first time I'd ever like rapped live to anyone. So after that was when we started to make our second release, which was Moonlight Vibes. Now that was 2 years down the line. We had a lot more knowledge of how to do things. We had a little bit more life experience. I had got some better equipment. I got some better turntables. I'd also upgraded the speakers and the microphone and stuff to a condenser mic and stuff. So the sound had really taken a lift. But other than that, the main difference was that I was also rapping.
The first one was built out of us kind of getting together and getting kind of high and just like having a great time,
that was the focus, wasn't it? Just to have a good time and have a laugh and make some music while we're doing it.
Yeah, and then, by the second one, as you said, I think, was I in uni by that time? Or?
Yeah, I think you were just starting, or you were gearing up to go to uni.
Yeah.
You were around the time.
It was around then.
To Salford Uni, weren't you? So you weren't too far away.
Yeah.
And you might have already started going then, and you were coming back on the train and stuff.
I think so, yeah.
Because I used to live right next to the train station, so it was quite easy for you to come and go.
Yeah.
And record bits. But that album, it sounded so much better, didn't it?
It was definitely different, yeah. I mean, much, much better. And it was also, like you said, when I came, it was very much more purpose to it. I think then it was like I was coming specifically, we were doing the recording.
Yeah.
It was so much faster because obviously you'd learn, and you just need to learn any of the programs, but you'd learn how to like just do things super fast at that point. So
the workflow, it improved,
didn't it? A lot easier to just record things and get it down and then move on to the next thing. So we were getting like loads done.
Yeah.
probably it would have been great just to have done carried on that, and just carried on doing it at that rate, because
it was good. Yeah, we used to sit on the windowsill, didn't we?
Yeah.
And a lot of it, even a lot of the lyrics we would write together. So saying even if you were mainly writing it, we'd sort of almost write it line by line, wouldn't we? And then we'd run it by each other, and then we'd decide, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
And then there was a definite unity in the writing process.
Synergy in the whole writing, and
I think
the delivery of it as well,
And now, I mean, it's totally different now. I have to, I can't do that with people now. So say if I'm working with someone down in Brighton, and then they've just got to send me their verse down the internet, and I just put it in, and then that's the best I could do. But given the option, I would always do it like that. I'd always try and write stuff together. I would also record stuff together. Do you know what I mean? Because it invests you so much, and we were so invested, weren't we, in what we were doing? And I think that's because we had the combined energy of us both.
Yeah.
Sort of focusing on something, like you were saying, because there was focus.
For sure, yeah.
On the second
way
release.
More collaborative as well, in that sense. There's so much more you're doing together that you can't do remotely.
MCs looking at me, I'm chewing up your rhymes, leave them stuck in my teeth. You don't mean nothing to me, kid. Struggling to see this, make it move your feet with well as telekinesis. The industrious north and getting bigger than the cotton mills. Better than the SCN, where they used to drop in pills. Never stop until I'm on the top of the ladder. You can't be knocking this blanket, cause I be rocking it mad. I rap the bad verse, this bad time verse, it's the lags wordsmith. Dropping lines.
Suck at MCs looking at me, I'm chewing up your rhymes, leave them stuck in my teeth.
Telekinesis. Fellas that need it. No, that's a really good. And then that verse from me, oh my, it's so funny, because that verse has followed me around my whole life. Because I did a band, I was in a band called Commands, which is a kind of future punk band in Brighton. And that was one of the. It's changed I changed some of the words, but the actual essence of the verse is still
the
there.
same.
Yeah.
We've got Lethal Weapon. We also had a track called Tales from the Riverbank Part 2. So on the first one we had the original, didn't we? Tales from the Riverbank. I think that came about because we spent a lot of time just walking down Bradshire Brook, didn't we?
Yeah.
And just which was quite near.
This whole area, because I lived around the different places out there, so now I know more than how it's just full of rivers, isn't it? Darwin's exactly the same. It's all just you're only ever 5 feet away from a river.
That's
somewhere.
true. Yeah, there is a lot of rivers around here,
and there's a lot of. It's quite hilly as well. So
that's true. I mean, say what you want about areas like Bolton and Darwin, but you really can be in the middle of nowhere within 5 minutes.
It's amazing for that. It's so remote. I miss that's the one thing I miss more than anything else, is just how, especially Darwin. You've got literally just a town in the bottom of the valley, in the strip, and then both sides it's
it's desolate.
Countryside.
There's nothing there, is there?
The moors there, the tower,
and the older you get, the more appealing it gets.
Yeah,
that's true.
To get away.
Peace and quiet.
Oh yeah, just to get out of the fucking way of it all.
So we did a sequel. We did Tales from the Riverbank Part 2, and we've more recently done Riverbank Part 3, haven't we? A few years ago for our most recent release. Also titled Simplicity, as a bit of a nod.
Simplicity, from the old days. But no, there's the two. Part 2 was the one that sticks out the most, probably from that.
Yeah,
from that one.
It's the one I revisit the most.
Yeah, the only one we did a video for, really, as well.
Never catch people wondering why I'm stumbling by at the riverbank, setting up my fishing rod for stickleback. Spit a rap, wanna be a rock star, but don't dig the nickel back. Fresh simple samples, this is old school bric-a-brac. You can't touch this like a scrubber's hand. I've got my summer plan.
Done for £1 or something, wasn't it? It's like Tales of the Riverbank Part 2, done for less than £1.
Yeah,
we wanted to get that out. Just
the £1 music vid.
The £1 music vid or something.
Yeah,
which was putting themselves down, really, because it was actually quite a good. I thought anyway.
It was
the shots that we got was on a fucking phone.
It was on one of them. What were they called? Them little Sony Ericsson flip phone.
Exactly.
Right, one of them.
No, you say we got the shots off the phone. Nowadays, obviously.
Yeah, you could actually have a proper.
That would be fine,
video.
but then it was unheard of to even have a a phone that could even have that kind of, and it didn't really have that. It was kind of,
and you had to have some knowledge
into it.
You had to have some knowledge to like get the videos off your phone and put them into a computer and stuff. And
it wasn't easy.
Yeah, and a lot of like clip arty titles on that video, but still like very, very fond memories during those times. We had some more experimental numbers on here as well. We had a track called Mad as Ken. Mad as Ken. It was like a space themed track.
Yeah, is that the one that had Paul doing the beatboxing?
Yeah, so our friend Paul,
Fluid.
I think he lives in Ireland now. You know,
he does. Yeah,
he does.
Cork.
Yeah, Paul. He called himself Fluid, and he was like a beatboxer who was good. Yeah, he was good. He was better than all of us, wasn't he? He was like, he actually could do it.
This is fluid like the flow from the river. This is the show we deliver to we're old and we're with it like the snow from a blizzard coming down through the treetops. So I'm stewing like a hot fluid on the beatbox. Jump out your Reeboks.
And it also meant when we were in cars and stuff, like he would do the beatboxing, and we could actually do quite a few.
True.
Could do a bit of freestyle.
And Paul's beatboxes were louder than any noise our phones could muster, weren't they, as well?
And it's more. It was better to get people involved as well, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think the beatbox would always be better.
There was a lot of bleakness, I think, generally to the UK hip hop scene.
Yeah,
right? I mean, if you look at like City of Industry and 1979 by Jest, and Skinny Man, some of them day-to-day basis tracks, there was such a bleakness, wasn't there? It was almost like therapy, because
maybe it was just the guys that had to work with brain tax.
Yeah, maybe that's what they needed.
Maybe they were
they needed some therapy, so
depressed.
Maybe that's what created it. Who knows? But yeah, we're not going to touch that brain tax thing with a 10-foot pole. But yeah, the point is, I mean, like, you can hear, in my opinion, you can hear the difference in subject matter from the first release we had to Moonlight Vibes. There was my solo track called The Program, which was very depressing. Well, yeah, we had a track called Closer, featuring one of your old uni pals called Meta.
Oh yeah, Meta. In the uni, he was always, it was always him that I'd be rapping with. A few French guys as well that I was rapping with in uni at that time.
Yeah,
around
definitely.
Castle.
And that other guy you met as well, Conway. Still speak to him every now and again.
Yeah, Conway was like on the beats and stuff, wasn't he? He had an MPC as well.
That was the first time I ever saw someone with an MPC, and he also had a lot of really sweet jungle records.
Yeah, he was massively into like other like music that we were massively getting into, more rave stuff, because obviously when you're going out, you're not really listening to hip hop when you're going out that much.
We're not. There was a huge drum and bass presence in our music taste.
Yeah,
we were listening to a lot of Calibre, a lot of Logistics and stuff like that. And but the beautiful thing as well is that the hip hop and the drum and bass and jungle at events went together really well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because you had the hip hop earlier on. Do you remember we went to watch Roselle at Sankey Soaps, the original Sankeys.
Yeah.
Before it all became some sort of
where I'd
corporate.
Been a few times and ended up working there as well. I worked at Sankey's.
Yeah, he did. And Bob worked there as well, one of my other friends. Yeah. He worked there, it's completely... Is it gone now?
It's gone. There's one in Ibiza,
gone.
I think, but there's none in Manchester.
None in Manchester.
That area's completely changed as well, because it used to be the roughest part of Manchester.
It was very sort of there were lots of slums and squatting around there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And derelict buildings and stuff, but it's completely
Taxis
changed.
Taxis wouldn't pick you up when you was...
He wouldn't pick you up from there, would they?
When he was finishing work, so you'd have to leg it, and back then you get tips in coins as well, so you're like jangling, like fucking Bojangles running down the road.
Advertising your pockets taken to the local crackheads. Yeah.
That guy's got some money.
Yeah.
Chase him.
Fucking hell, yeah, I remember that. There was definitely a lot of drum and bass as well.
Lots of drum and bass in there. There was like lots of jungle, like you say. I remember we were going to warehouse projects as well.
Yeah.
So there was like, who did we see there? It was
at the Boddington's factory, wasn't it?
It was De La
Soul and Jest
was like
with A Saviour.
Opening A Saviour.
Yeah.
Then there was a DJ on after De La Soul. But the sound was
weird, warehouse, wasn't it?
And they got the sound sorted in the end, but the Boddington's one was shit.
I think even back then it was like £8 for a can or something, wasn't it? Or something in there.
It's like Red Stripe, obviously.
Warm as sin. Yeah, in a plastic glass. Right.
Shite.
I'd rather drink fresh air than that these days. I don't think we did stay all night, did we? We fucked off, but yeah, we used to go to Ape as well. Ape at the Apollo and fucking Valve sound system.
Valve,
all that shit.
Yeah, which I don't think they even let you in now without the
earplugs.
Yeah,
they used to hand earplugs out on the door going in.
Even then.
So towards the end, I seem to remember it sort of just fizzling out. I don't think we ever like made a conscious decision to like stop making music.
I don't even really remember what it was that had it peter out, because I remember being super happy with the album, you know.
Yeah.
And the people that had listened to it were like, yeah, this is really good.
We got a lot of good feedback.
Yeah.
In a way, it was like the finale, wasn't it?
It felt like that coming into it, and it, you know, and then. But then, for I don't know why, you know, we should have probably...
Because we never stopped, like, hanging about. Obviously, I'd regularly come over to Salford and we'd have these, like, absolutely wicked parties in your Castle Irwell building.
Yeah.
You know, so we used to stay up for
it probably
days.
just got a bit messy, and I think, funny.
Yeah, would you say? I mean, I think really that probably took precedence over making music for a while. I think maybe just going out and getting off your nut and going to all these raves and stuff, of which there were plenty at that point, wasn't there?
Yeah.
They were happening all the time.
It was great fun there, because it was just like everyone on that Irwell were it was like the kind of people you wouldn't go there. It had a bit of a reputation, so I think like you were only going to go there for two reasons. One of which was like you kind of knew about it, and you knew that it went. You know, there was massive parties that would happen there, which was me. I was in that group, or the other group was like you were a foreign student,
and you're getting your head down, and yeah, that's true actually.
And it's like soz that they've put those two groups together.
God, we had some proper good times at that place.
Yeah, and I was working at Sankey's at that point, so I'm working like late. Yeah. Then doing the uni stuff. Then so there was like I was trying to squeeze too many things
in. And a nocturnal job like working at Sankey's as well. Like you know.
But I was still writing, and you know, well, maybe that stopped for a little bit as well. But probably still freestyling, you know, quite a lot. I wasn't listening to hip hop as well then. I think that's the other thing, you know. The music that I was listening to wasn't really. I was more into probably like dance and stuff then. You know, I was getting into like more electronic music, and I think you were too. As well.
I was definitely. There was I started buying a lot of electro house records. That was massive at the time, wasn't it? Electro house. There was like
a few weird things, because later on there was the whole.
It was Dirty House. And
there was that like what was it again? It's like electro swing. That was like
electro swing sort of stuff. I'll tell you a tune that was massive around then was Destination Unknown.
Oh yeah.
That used to always come out. And,
Destination Unknown.
And there was like In My Arms, like is it Milo? Like
I went to see that. I told you about that girlfriend. Yeah, she took me to Leeds to go and see Milo. Yeah, and like when I was like
Milo was
16
massive.
Or 17.
Yeah,
and we went to Leeds to a nightclub to watch him.
Cool.
And then drove back to Darwin after at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
so they do stuff way more like that. Yeah, probably not advisable.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's more dangerous these days, isn't it? Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, you should never do it.
So you were going your way a little bit. I were going my way musically a little bit, but we were still sort of hanging around a lot on the weekends, but mainly for like party sort of reasons.
Yeah.
So that was a cool night. We went to a party, didn't we? At a rapper that we met from the hip hop forum. Yeah. Called Bet None.
That's it.
Yeah, it's called Bet None, and the party was 3 doors down or 3 doors up, whatever, from the place where Ian, what's his name? From Joy Division, Ian Curtis. I nearly said Ian Huntley then. That's fucking terrible. But yeah, it's a very different. But that was 3 doors up from there at that party. Yeah, that was a cool party. It was like I've never been to a party like that where it's the only people who go into it rappers. So there was like these different rooms set up with like different. There were like a turntables in one room and different vocal booths set up and stuff. And you'd basically like, can I go in there next and record this? Yeah, I'm going to be 10 minutes. Like, it was weird, wasn't it? It was really organised and it was good. Yeah. And we were all getting levered as we were doing it.
Yeah, I think I was mainly just getting levered rather than recording anything.
And we drove down there in that shitty mustard-coloured van that I'd borrowed from my boss, Charlie. And remember when we were going around that corner and that prick nearly crashed into us? Remember when he did like a 360 in road and they had to slam on?
There was a lot of car journeys, I remember. There was obviously the one to Birmingham.
Oh yeah, Birmingham. Yeah.
And it was always in your Escort. And you dropped me off to Salford Uni as well with all my stuff, I remember.
Yeah.
And I just turned up with like a crate and a bag of weed and then I was just like...
The essentials.
That was the two things that I thought...
Two things you need: TV, weed.
The peace palms, basically. Peace pipe.
Back then I was terrible at driving on the motorway. Like, it was a bit of a thing for me. I didn't like doing it. I forced myself to do it because otherwise I couldn't get places. But now I don't give a shit at all. But back then, I just hated it. It used to fill me with so much anxiety.
Well, that Escort, I remember when he was like getting it to over 100 and it was like about to break. On the motorway. Well, it took about 10 minutes to get it to 100.
Yeah, that was a slow car. That. Do you remember on the back of it? There was on the back of them Ford Escorts. There was individual badges, ESCORT. So I'd taken the badges off with a bit of fishing wire.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, pissing about on my table. I was trying to make new words out of them, rearranging them. Do you know what the only other word I could make out of Escort was?
Out of Escort.
Yeah. Go on, you're good at these word puzzle games.
Off the top of the head.
Right, I'm cutting you off. Scrote is the only other word.
I was never going to get scrote. Sorry, just so you know. That was not on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, so I glued them back on the Escort, so it was the Ford Scrote. That was a funny car, that. Right, so I reckon we should leave it there, mate. I just want to say thank you so much for coming over, for all the way from Dublin. It's been great to see you. And I think from this point on, we should get something to eat and maybe go for a few beers, eh?
Yeah,
let's go down to the pub.
Buddy.
We thought we'd get this out of the way first before we start to inevitably deteriorate.
But no, thanks again. It's been amazing. Really good podcast so far, what I've listened to, mate. So
you're welcome, man.
And it was great to remember. A lot of it is hazy, but all I do remember is it was great fun. And we've got the recordings now forever. You know, it's one of those things. And I think they've aged okay. I think they still sound good now to this day. So
definitely. And I just want to say, if you do want to check out our most recent offering,
of course,
it's available on Live from the Groove on CD, and very soon it's going to be available on cassette. Simple Samples, Simplicity. I'm going to put a link in the description.
Nice.
So once again, if you haven't already done so, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Take care, mate.
All the best.
Bye bye.